So I think, I'm getting a bit puzzled here. Aggie, you need to come and help me. Because we see people that have a lot of money that they want to invest. I've heard fantastic ideas of where we need to put the money. We have people that can de-risk. We have banks that want to invest. So why is it not working? We need frameworks, we need simple metrics, we need to do it very fast.
I think that this is the complexity of doing business in sub-Saharan Africa. But ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a fantastic panel, yet again, that has done a fantastic job. We are coming to a close of our session. Please feel free to come and take back your seats. I will come back to you with some very tough questions that have been posted online. And I have the honor of selecting the top 3 questions in no particular order. The first question that I've seen online is that there seems to not be a short of ideas. And obviously, like Hedwig has said, we are not short of the money. How can we collaborate better today? And to answer that question, I would like to challenge the person who opened this session for us, Matt, in no particular way. How can all of us collaborate better to link the money with the ideas? Over to you.
Yeah, I think one of the key activities we need to do is to start breaking down the different silos between the different specialists that work in the sector. So the finance people on one side and then climate specialists on the other side. But at the same time, we need to bring together those people who are operating day to day in the market with the people who are sitting in the policy side perhaps or in the finance side, and make sure that the people who actually have to implement this on the ground, the SMEs who've got those connections to the individual farmers, are really engaged into those conversations. And that's hard work. That takes a lot of legwork in terms of creating events that are appropriate, because most of these SMEs and most of these farmers don't have time to come to events like this to hear this sort of narrative, and I don't see many events that are. So I think we need to be much more forward-thinking and flexible in terms of having communication mechanisms that actually reach those partners in the field that we need to work with in the future. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Matt. My second question online goes to Rabobank. The conversation that we have had is that there's quite a bit of money, but online they're saying that it cannot be business as usual. If we do nothing today, by waiting for investable deals, we will have no planet. And I am reminded by a quote from the former president of the US, Barack Obama, that we are the first generation to witness climate change, and we can only be the first generation to solve for climate change. So is it business as usual for the bank?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, the whole financing practice is changing from financing going concern, the same thing again and again, to financing the transition. And financing the transition is basically what every financial institution and every investor should familiarize itself with. That means more focus on project risk and transition risk than going concern risk, which is also there. But the risk assessment is different, and we have to design, and that is where carbon credits, carbon reduction units, impact-linked loans, green bonds, all those products come in. But there is definitely risk side to it, because we need to assess the risk whether the transition will be completed successfully or not, and enter us in a new economically viable state. So that is the change that the finance industry is going through.
Thank you very much for that. So what I'm hearing really is that we need to have more public-private partnerships that are ready to take on a little bit more risk and ensure that we find innovative solutions. So the last question goes to the young entrepreneurs. We all know that the decisions we are making now are not for us. because they'll only come 35 years from now. If you all added 35 years to your current age, you probably know where we will be, right? So we are making decisions for 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, right? Now, we all know that the world's problems can only be solved by entrepreneurs. And these are innovators, young people. And they have showcased that they've got the ambition, the passion, but they need the skill, right, to be able to get there. So I will open this last question to all of my panel, and anybody who would like to answer this would give me a chance. What can we do to give confidence to the young people to innovate and that we will support them? Fiona, I knew that would be you.
Show the same courage they show. Right? And that goes for all of us personally, in our professions, and in every way we engage with the market and with decision makers. And we know what courage looks like. We've got masses of data, masses. What we don't have is the courage that young people have. Thanks. So we need to learn from them.
Thank you very much, Fiona. And I think I would easily summarize that either we collaborate, stop competing, or we die. Correct? Thank you very much. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to once again thank our perfect panel, but in the same breath, allow me to invite Britt, the lady who has been behind putting all of this together. A round of applause for Britt to close this session for us and wrap up the discussion. Over to you, Britt.
Thank you so much, Aggie. Thank you so much to our esteemed panelists, moderators, our audience here in Kigali, and those following around the world. Apparently, we had the most followers of any session in AGRF so far, so a round of applause. This is a really great topic. We've heard that the balance needs to be tipped in multiple ways to enable resources to flow to those who need it, to adapt to real and current climate crisis that we're in. And given the interest of time, we're supposed to have already closed. I'm just going to give 3 quick points that I took out of all of that fantastic information. Adaptation is local. We really need to work with our local businesses, with our local funding suppliers, and to the local context where we are. And getting that down to the last mile is critical. Number 2, the finance is there, but we need investor-ready projects, we need data, and we need affordability for those who will buy the new products and services. And number 3, concessional funding is critical, but so are grants. We've got to build the capacity of the system and the people within it. So we've got great products and services, we need to communicate, we've got to finance the transition, and we've got to show the same courage that our youth are showing in bringing forward these great ideas. So we close our session today, and I want to encourage everyone to look at the actions that they can take away to tip the balance towards greater adaptation, greater private sector investment, and greater support in the hands of the people who need it most. This journey is part of our path to COP27, Africa's COP, and so we've learned much that the actions discussed this morning, and I need us to look forward to how climate action will be progressed at the African Presidential Summit that will take place immediately following this discussion. And let's work towards those concrete, bold actions that the AGRF is calling us to do through platforms like the AGRF and the Agricultural Innovation Mission for Climate. Let's make it happen. Thank you, everyone.